Hi everyone, welcome to another interesting tutorial. I'm Dami of 𝐓𝐻𝐇. Today we'll be learning how to make this beautiful monostrap dress with a slant waist gathers on the waistline. So if this is what we are looking at to learn, please stick to the end of the tutorial. I'll be showing you a step-by-step method on how to cut and also how to sew this dress. So I made the one being displayed on the screen, so please ignore me trying to where I model it. I'm camera shy. So if you are joining us for the first time, thank you for joining us today. If you are yet to subscribe, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell to get notified anytime you have a new tutorial. For our returning subscribers, thank you guys for always coming back. If you'd like to join my WhatsApp group, the link will be in the description box. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next class. The drafting of the monostrap gathers gown, we are going to be placing our pattern paper on fold because of the asymmetric effect we have on the neckline. So go ahead to draw out my borderline. From there we'll take all our vertical measurements. So I'll mark out the chest line, the bust line, the under bust, and also the hip measurement. So when you are doing this, make sure your measurement is accurate. So after marking out, then I'll go ahead to extend the lines and also label the lines. Once done, I will impute my measurement. I don't want this upper part to have any dots, so I'll start with the shoulder line divided by 2. I'll mark it also on the chest line, connect it together, and step down on the shoulder line by 1 inch and connect it to the 3 inches neck width for our shoulder slope. So for the armhole cuff, I will divide whatever I have on the armhole by 2, step down by 1, then go in by 1 for the front cuff, and I will connect it together like this. So my bust line also, I go ahead to divide my bust divided by 4 because it's not going to be having any dots. My waist divided by 4, and also the hip line divided by 4. On the hip line, I added extra ½ inch for hips. Then I'll go ahead to connect all the lines together like this. So after connecting the lines together, I'll be separating the lower part, so they'll be joining on the waistline. So I'll go ahead now to separate it on the waistline. We need the upper part to make the necessary alteration we are making for the asymmetry. Then I'm going to be cutting off the excess to the chest line. Please don't cut off the armhole part because we are going to be needing it for our asymmetric alteration. Then I'll go ahead now to trace it using my tracing wheel so that we have the lines also on the other part. So after tracing, this is what I have, and I went ahead to mark the neck waist on both sides. So I'm using 3 inches as my neck waist. So I'll open up the pattern now. So the asymmetric neckline and the strap is going to be on the left side of the pattern. So on the center line now, from the shoulder line, I'm going to step down by 3.5 on the center. And also on this other side, also the side that is going to have the strap, I will step down on the shoulder line by 4 inches, and the wideness of the strap is going to be 3 inches. So I'm going to be extending that one line up. So to connect this line now, we are going to be connecting on the shoulder line like this. From this neck waist here, using our cuff, we connect it and to the armhole where we have our strap extension. So we'll be extending this one out when we are cutting out on the fabric also. After marking it out now, we carefully cut out all the lines. When you are cutting, just be careful and follow all the necessary lines. So now I'm cutting up the neck area. So if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified anytime we have a new tutorial. So this pattern that we are cutting out for the front is what we'll be using for the back. So I'm only going to be making a little bit of alteration when we get to the back. So I'm going to be explaining further. So this is what it looks like after cutting out. Then we can proceed to the down part. So for the down part, I'm making a high and low slant for the down part. So you can do any design of your choice. You can make it the scallop one or the high and low. It all depends on what you are trying to achieve. So I will just go ahead now to cut out the excess we have for the down part so that we'll see what we are working with. Go ahead to open up the pattern. The strap that we have, the strap on the shoulder line, is the part that is going up, so that is the left side. So on the left side of the pattern now, from the waist, I will step down by 2.5. Then I'm going to be connecting it to the other side using my curve rule like this. So if you are after marking out, I went ahead to cut out the pattern. So this pattern that we have cut out now is what we'll be using to cut out our front bodies. Don't forget, we are using the same pattern for both front and back, but before the back alteration, we are going to be using this for the front first. I'll be using the crepe fabric. So we have 3 yards of flower crepe, which is going to go for the down parts and 1.5 for the upper parts. So I've gone ahead to place the pattern on the fabric now. So this is the upper parts we have here. The strap we have, I've extended it now. So I'm working with a strap length of 20 inches and I added 0.5 inch allowance all round of it. On the side, I added 1.5 inch allowance, the shoulder line 0.5, the neckline 0.5, and also for the joining of the waistline, I added 0.5. So when you are placing this, make sure you are placing it on the right side of the fabric. That means the place marked on the pattern paper is the right side. So you place the right side of the fabric to the wrong side of the pattern paper, so as not to cause any confusion because of the asymmetric we have there. I've also gone ahead to cut the down part of the front. So on the side, I added 1.5 inch allowance. On the waist and on the hemline, I added 0.5 for the joining. So I will remove the pattern paper to draft the back. To make alteration for the back now, we are going to be splitting it because of the zipper at the back. But before we do that, we'll go ahead now to do our sway back. So on the waistline or the center back now, I will go in by 0.75. Then I'm going to be connecting it to the chest line like this. Then also from the waistline, I'll step up by 1 inch and connect it to the side. You know, there was no dart in the front, so there was no how you can correct this. So in order for us not to have any bulging, it is important to do this and for our back to sit very well. So go ahead to cut it out. This is what we have after cutting it out. The down part also will be splitting it on the center back, and we'll place it on the fabric, adding necessary allowance. On the center back, I'll add 1 inch allowance for the zip, and on the side for the side seam allowance also, and all the joining allowance. So we'll go ahead to place it on the fabric. Now, because of the asymmetric effects on the fabric of the design, it is very important to be careful on how you place your fabric. Don't forget, when we are placing the front side, we'll make sure that the marking on the pattern paper is facing up. But when you are cutting the back now, you make sure that the right side of the pattern paper is facing the right side of the fabric. It is very important. Styles now, I've gone ahead to cut out the back piece, and also I cut it with the facing. So I will not be using lining to turn it, so I'll just be using facing to turn the necessary parts. So for this part here now, we'll be starting from the neck area, that's the zipper area, all through the strap by 0.5 to the armhole. So you are using 0.5 to turn that side. We are not sewing the side, and for the other side of the neck, we are always sewing on the neckline and also on the armhole area. For the front also, you go ahead to sew the neck area, the armhole of both sides, and also the strap by 0.5 inch allowance. So I will just take this to my sewing machine to sew. This is what it looks like after the turning, and it's looking neat already. I've given it a good press. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is to be joining the shoulder. You know, it's a mono strap, so we have one shoulder, so I'll be joining both shoulder together by 0.5 inch allowance. And also we'll go ahead to add the down parts of each of them. The front, we'll be adding the down parts of the front. We'll join it together on the waist area, and also the back also will be joining together on the waist area. So after the joining now, I went ahead to stitch them together on the side by 1.5 inch allowance that I added for the side joining. This is what we have after joining together on the side, so just make sure you give it a good press. Now I've gone ahead to cut the gather parts. I did not do it on camera, so I'll be showing you how to use this piece of fabric to explain. So you are going to be placing your fabric, the selvedge edge facing each other. So you take the first selvedge edge to the other edge of the fabric and fold it like this. Then you are going to be folding it in to determine the length of your gathered. So what we are going to use for the length of the gathers is, for mine, my gown length was 62 inches, then the half length is 17 inches, but don't forget that we'll step down on one side by 2.5, so 17 plus 2.5, I got 19. So the 19 subtracted from the 62 inches for my gown length. So then we'll go ahead now to fix the gathered on the upper part. So you are going to notch it and place the notch facing each other. So this is me trying to figure out how mine is going to go, the notch facing the notch, the center, and all of that together. So just go ahead to gather it. Here is the results after joining. The gather is looking beautiful already. So I've also gone ahead to close the center back and also face the zip. See, as the sleeve is relaxing. So one of the challenge of having a slant waist is one side of the gathers will be longer than each other. So if you don't want yours to be longer, you can just find a way to fold your fabric into two. Then you are going to be trimming off the excess you have on one side that is longer than the other. But for me, I'm just going to be leaving mine like this. So this brings us to the end of the tutorial. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you are able to learn something new, and we'll see you in the next class.